Sunrise. It's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we dive into Genesis chapter 42. So Joseph has risen to power and now his brothers are on the way. So as you open the text, the first thing we come to is a scene in Canaan with Jacob and his sons. So what stands out in this scene? What can we see about the family dynamics that are taking place in Canaan during this time? And so why is this opening here? So what is the purpose, do you think, while reading this text, of these first few verses, getting a picture of the home life in Canaan? So as we work through the text, we then move south. As they travel, they go and they meet Joseph. So as they arrive seeking a grain, what do you make of Joseph's interaction with his brothers? What stands out in the text? What is some of the interesting nuances that come between their conversation back and forth? Why does Joseph accuse them of being spies? So how are all these things playing together in this interaction? So as you see this interaction, what do you make of Joseph? So as you see him doing these things, what stands out about who Joseph is in this text? And also, as you work through that again, you have these interactions. So what do you make of the brothers? So how are the 10 brothers being presented in this text? What are some of the good things you see about them? What are some of the things you may see a little shady maybe still? Are there any? So again, thinking through the text, how are they being portrayed? So how are the children of Israel being displayed in this interaction throughout? And so some of the little key points, what stands out to you when you come to verse 9 in this text? There's some key elements here for us to look at, the recognizing of them and remembering the dream. So as you come into this text, we have this picture that his dream now is remembered. So how is that connecting the whole thing together? How is that reminding us of, again, more of who Joseph is? And then even continuing on these interactions, you get to 18, and there's this fear of God. So Joseph says he fears God. So what is the key to that? What is he doing by using this phrase in this portion of the text with his brothers? So then we see how all of it unfolds. We see the brothers' conversation that Joseph overhears. Again, what kind of stands out from his reaction to it. And then they go home, again, to bargain to bring Benjamin with them. So then Jacob, once again, we see this family dynamic. How is Jacob presented in our text in this section? So again, as you work through this text, you begin to see a family dynamic that is a bit chaotic, a bit broken, due to sin and everything that comes with sin and the consequences of sin. So I hope that you'll spend some time in the text thinking deeply about these things again as we hear the word proclaimed and discuss them in our small groups. I hope that you'll begin to gather a further appreciation for God's word, as well as we see Christ displayed in the text. So a couple points that you'll hopefully be able to pick out in here, as well as we see some of those types begin to take shape even more as we work through the salvation of his people. So can't wait to worship with you guys on Sunday. You guys have a great weekend.